So, solving one-step equations by multiplying and dividing. Just like you did yesterday, you're going to try to find the value of x that makes a statement true. So you have this first example, 6x equals negative 48. Remember, if you have 6 and x, or any number right in front of a variable, that's like they're saying 6 times x. So it's 6 times x equals negative 48. So 6 times what equals negative 48. Remember, when you're multiplying and dividing, if this is a negative number, if your answer is negative, that means you had to multiply a negative times a positive to get a negative. If this answer was positive, you would do negative times a negative or a positive times a positive. So don't forget, this will give you a negative answer. This one, negative times negative, gives you a positive. Positive times a positive gives you a positive. So remember those rules. Remember, if you can't do those, I'm okay with you using a calculator. I just needed to remind you of that. So if this is a negative number, we know it's going to be a positive times a negative. If this was a negative 6, the x would have to be positive. Okay? So again, when you do this, if you can't just visually see, or you can't just look at that and know what multiplies to get a negative 48, you would do the inverse operation. So the inverse of multiply is divide. So I would divide by 6 and divide by 6. 6 divided by 6 cancels. If you type that in your calculator, 6 divided by 6, that will give you 1. So then I would be left with a 1x equals, now a 1x is just the same thing, because if I just say x, then I know that there's one of them there. So x equals, now in order to type this in your calculator, again, you're going to hit this negative button down here. So you do negative 48 divided by 6, and you get negative 8. So the answer to this one is negative 8. Remember, you can go back and check just to make sure you did it right. So to check it, I'm going to use 6, which is the original, times what I found is my x, so negative 8, which gives me negative 48. So I did, in fact, find the correct answer. Okay, that's the first example. The next one is negative 2x equals 24. So negative 2x equals 24. Right there, you're going to look at this. It's a negative 2. Now, the thing that I always see a lot of people try to do is they try to add this to. Since it's negative 2x, that negative is telling you that it's a negative 2 times x. It's not a negative 2, so I need to add. So that's the mistake I see the most common. So negative 2 times x, the opposite of multiply, is divide. Divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. So it would be 1x. Again, you don't have to write that 1. Equals 24 divided by negative 2. It's a positive divided by a negative. So then you know it's a negative number. 24 divided by 2 is 12. Plug it in. A negative times a negative will give you a positive number. Okay. 12 equals x divided by 3. Remember, it doesn't matter what side the variable is on. You want to still try to get it by itself. So yesterday I saw a couple of people making the mistake of they were trying to move this over instead of move the whatever was with the x away. So this is x divided by 3. It looks like a fraction, which remember fractions and division are the same thing. So it's x divided by 3. If you have to think about it, what is the inverse of divide by 3? It's multiply. So 3 divided by 3 again will cancel. Type that in your calculator. 3 divided by 3. Oh, there we go. is 1. Okay. So multiply this side by 3. 12 times 3 is 36 equals x. 36 divided by 3, yep, that's